What we're going to talk about is, well, I'm not going to talk about anything. Seamus is going to talk about vegetation mapping and what tools and services DNRM can assist with if you're looking to get into some of the vegetation carbon projects. So I'd like to hand over to Seamus Batstone to take us through that. Thank you very much, Seamus.
Yeah, this is a fantastic turnout here today. Yeah, it's a new benchmark, I think, for Southwest NRM. Interestingly, even in our policy unit down in Brisbane, they're talking about this workshop here and sort of saying how good it is. I work around at Wood Street here in Charleville, Senior Natural Resource Management Officer. We've got a little team over there. Today, I'm just here to talk about some of our spatial products. Now these, we've just had a few landholders coming in doing this carbon stuff. And they've been looking at what sort of imagery and air photos and things like that we have available, and apparently it's fairly helpful. So I'm just going to give a 5-minute spiel on sort of some of the products that are out there and whether they're going to help you with applying for these carbon schemes. I think this first statement is true, that we hold most of the mapping and spatial resources for Queensland. If we don't hold it, we know where to get it, basically. So we have great access to spatial stuff. That's air photos, sat images, geology, land type, vegetation maps. What a lot of people don't know is there's a library in Brisbane in Woolloongabba that has just immense amounts of air photos all over Queensland from all different years. It's a fantastic place. You can go in there, a member of the public, and say, you know, this is my property. Got to look at the air photos that you've got over it, and you'll find them going back to the 40s. They're taken with Spitfires, all sorts of things. When you come to the counter and you want to look at air photos of your property, we'll open up a screen, we'll find your property, we'll do a search for imagery on it. Sorry?
How is the imagery?
You can get stuff, high resolution satellite imagery for last year. A lot of that's available on Google Earth now, so it's a lot more accessible than it used to be. So yeah, Google Earth, I think it's around 2014, a lot of that imagery that's on there. So you can get that, yeah, so last year basically. The air photos, it's a bit hit and miss. Often they'll go back to about the 40s or 50s. They might even be older ones if you go on really, you know, but you've really got to go into the archives. Yep.
Aerial one, you got to go to the office in Woolloongabba, or?
No, you can come in and have a look at them. Have a look at them at our counter.
All right.
And if they're what they call geo-reference, if they put them on the computer, like if they scan them, put them on the computer, because they are photographs. Otherwise, we can order them. We can order them in. We order them from Woolloongabba if we've got to get them in. So I just, you know, I picked a random place out near Rolleston, and I clicked on it, and so it just told me which programs that place had been photographed under, and you can see there's 56, 61, 65, 69, 80, 84, 95. It says up the top there's 27 rectified satellite images over that block. So yeah, there's a lot of imagery, and this is pretty common. This is normal for most places that you'll find in Queensland. You know, I clicked on the place, I found a couple of air photos. This one's from 14th of June 1956, so the red box, you keep your eyes on that. This one's 1995, so I guess if you're sort of trying to prove that an area was covered with trees, can support tree cover, then this would be pretty handy, something like this, I imagine. And that's what our landholders are kind of coming in asking for. So that's that same boxed area. You know, they might say, oh, that's a grassland. Well, if you go back, you can clearly see it's fairly well timbered. Same place, I just pulled the satellite images. Now I'll show you in a second how you can get these for yourself online. But this is a good indicator of ones that are pretty good quality. Because with the satellite images, you might find that they're going right back to 72, and there's one every 16 days since 1972, but a lot of them are rubbish. They've got a lot of cloud cover or stripes through them or all sorts of things. Well, these ones we know are going to be good. So this website, you can get all the Landsat images back to 72 for your place. I'll bring it up. I'll bring up the website in a second. And they go pretty much every 16 days or something like that over this place. Same block. That website there, if you type that into your address bar, you'll be able to pull up all the satellite images, and they're quite recent. You have all the recent ones as well as historic ones. I'll just give people a moment to write that down. I see a few people are writing it down. So this is the US government site, and they obviously own Landsat. Right, I'll keep moving. This is some high resolution imagery. So this is possibly 2014, I think. So if you get onto Google Earth and you put in our Queensland globe, if you open our Queensland globe on Google Earth, if you don't know how to do it, come to the counter, someone will tell you how to do it. I won't go into it today. But obviously you can see the individual trees. Just to scare you all, here's a high resolution imagery after some thinning. Zoom right in, we can see his grader down there. we don't have this for everywhere, but we can get them.
All we can see is fire, Seamus.
Fire.
That's it. What thinning?
No, it's good. This is Google Earth. So some of the stuff that's available on Google Earth from our department. So we just open up with a satellite image. Then we can lay over the regulated vegetation mapping. This may be important for your applications. Regional ecosystem mapping. I'm sure most of you already know about this. If you don't know about it, come down and have a look and we'll show you how to do it. You can get this on your home computer. Any questions?
Seamus, what's in the pipe that you're happy to talk about? I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's in the pipe of what the government is proposing with some amendments at the moment? Is there any detail to what they're proposing there at the moment?
No, only what Anthony Lynham said in Hansard about the 5-point plan, which included basically getting rid of or tightening up on the community infrastructure exemption, which was being abused fairly badly. I think there was private motorbike tracks and things like that going in,
Yep.
and so that one tightened up. That was one of his things. He's going to review the codes, so the self-assessment codes.
Yep.
That's sort of already happening. I know AgForce and all those guys are involved in that. They were the two big ones. There's going to be some user-friendly tools come out apparently that landholders can use to look at what they can and can't do. Those were the main points. There was 5, but those were the main things really.
And I'll put it the other way, is there certainty over, I suppose, existing non-remnant and PMAVs is a big one. Do you know?
Oh yeah, unless they change the law, which they've always been able to do, there's been no real talk about that. Nothing that I've heard. It's all business as usual basically, unless you're trying to put a private motorbike track on a road, under the community infrastructure thing. You'll probably hit a wall with that one, but apart from that, it's pretty much business as usual. Yeah. No. I know they're negotiating. They're talking to AgForce. They're talking to the green groups to see if they can make some changes, and that may happen, but not for a while.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks.
Do you know if the 2014 slat start has been released yet, or when else?
I don't think the 2014 has that. Probably it takes them a couple of years to process that stuff. Yeah, it's they're not holding it back. They just take ages to look at it because it's got there's all sorts of issues with it. Yeah, so they go through and it generally takes a couple of years, but not that I'm aware of. No.